Welcome to Axie Chat. Oh, it looks like we just lost Jiho. Hold on, just 1 second. Let's see what's going on.
Welcome, guys.
Yeah,
We had a
welcome.
big surprise for you, and he decided to bail out. No.
Last second. So I'm pretty sure he's going to be back. Look at who we have. We've got Jiho here with us today. So very excited to have Jiho. Yes, better than Elon. But wow, we have so many good things to talk about today. So very excited for episode 35 of Axie Chat. Lots of big things happening. Man, I was getting ready for the show today. It's actually been something that I've been preparing for a little bit more than I had in the past because I'm just so excited for it. So I've been kind of preparing over the whole week, and there is a lot of stuff to cover. We'll do our best to cover what we can. But most importantly, we have here Jiho. Welcome, Jiho.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Congrats on making it to episode 35. Yeah,
Thanks, man.
let's do this.
Yeah, so excited. So, to be honest, we didn't really have a whole lot of pre-game discussion here. We just kind of hopped on and we're going for it. I have some great slides for us for those that are here on the stream. I am going to be way distracted having a guest like Jiho here, so just be aware of that from the very beginning. So probably won't be paying attention to chat at all. Hopefully Enjoi can keep me up to date if there's stuff happening in the chat, but I'll be super focused today. Just as a quick reminder, let's see here if we can get this going. There we go. I'll run this fun little see if people can hear it. It's just so much fun. All right.
Gio, we just have to guess. We just have to guess when it's our turn to talk. We can't hear any of this fun intro music and fun baronar doing the infomercial stuff. Yeah, I guess I'm playing chat mod. I realize I haven't said anything yet. What's up, guys? We'll Baronar, I'll push it back to you in just 1 second.
Yeah.
The one thing I do want to say, guys, we had a big announcement this week. Thank you everybody for the support. Whether or not you did decide to join our kind of founding members Axie Chat thing. We've been working on this again, 35 episodes. We've been doing this for a long time. We're really excited about how far it's come, and I was going back through some of the old episodes. It's crazy comparing the first episode to what we're doing now. Again, we want to do so much more with this. Thank you guys for the support. We are kind of changing up the format a little bit today. So we're going to be doing this stream for about an hour, and then we're going to be jumping into the Discord for the founders and quarterly member only stream. So it's going to get a little bit more in depth, I think, in those streams. Just by nature of being a smaller group and maybe more focused. But we're really excited to see how that all looks and what it turns into. And again, the goal here is to provide more and more information to the Axie community, whether it's through the podcast or other ways as well, supporting other groups. We're sponsoring the Lunacian Events Board, and a bunch more stuff coming in the future. So just want to throw that out, give our thanks to everybody who supported us thus far. I will say, maybe if somebody can throw in the chat the link to our wearable, so if anybody does want to join, they can pick one of those up. But I'll leave it at that. No more shilling from me.
All right, excellent. Well, let's go ahead and move right on. I just quickly wanted to put the passes up on the screen. Probably should have had that going while Enjoi was giving that great pitch. But this is what we have. We're excited for these passes. Seems like a really great way to go. We're so excited to have the public show, but we're also excited to get really in depth in the exclusive show. And we have some great things in store for people who are going to hang on and join us in the exclusive side as well. All right, so there's been a lot of news in the Axie space. And just before we get going on Ronin and Ronin discussions, because that's what everybody's here for, that's what people are wanting to talk about, and I know. I just wanted to point out a couple of community things because it's just so crucial. Our community for Axie Infinity is so important. Jiho has said this many times, how intrinsic and important the Axie Infinity community is, and we agree here at Axie Chat. So wanted to shout out Odin reminding me that we're now up to 52,600 members in our Discord. Discord went down for just a blip here. I don't know what was going on, some outage or something, and I just about had a heart attack. It's so funny, like my life breath feels like it's in Discord these days. But I think that's good because we're all here for a new digital nation, a rise of a digital nation. So also wanted to just shout out to Weiss. He sponsored an internet cafe in the Philippines where people could come and use the internet there. He actually paid for it. That was so cool. Rented it out for people to use the whole cafe, and they were playing Axie Infinity there. So such a cool thing. Wanted to be sure that we addressed that, brought that out. And then also this one. Okay, so you guys got to give me a second, and then we're gonna move on. This one was awesome. So this picture killed me. Okay, it's so cool. It is such a great sentiment. It's so awesome. But check this out. Okay, so I was looking at this picture a little bit more closely, and I'm zooming. I'm zooming in. I'm looking at the people, and I'm like, wait a second, what's going on here? this
Oh my
little
God.
kid. He's kind of my hero. I mean, he's probably thinking he's just so clever, but I thought that was the absolute most hilarious thing. So I'm giving that a smiley face. Did you see that, Jiho, when you posted this one? Oh no, do we not have Jiho sound?
Sorry, I muted myself.
Oh yeah, you're good.
I don't want to hear myself speak. Yeah, it's a hilarious picture. These kids, man, they're coming up in the world. They got that spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of my favorite pictures to highlight is these people, coming together to meet in a physical environment, maybe violating sanctions or quarantine guidelines, so stay safe. Try not to break any local laws when you meet up with your fellow Lunasians, but that's also awesome.
Yeah. And we've talked a little bit, thrown it out there. AxieCon. Love to hear your thoughts on an AxieCon too.
Yeah, AxieCon. All right. So one thing that I'll say is we already have one confirmed speaker for AxieCon, but we don't know when it's going to be. We haven't started necessarily planning it other than asking people like, hey, would you speak at AxieCon when it happens? So that's like kind of the most I've thought about it. And we've also thought about like, okay, what new personnel that might be on the Sky Mavis or Axie team, could they help doing something? I'm not like an events organizer. That's kind of like that's almost like against my personality, like organizing something like that. Basically, I don't know why. Like, yeah, it's kind of like, I mean, I was social chair of my fraternity in college,
Right.
planning parties. I was president, but yeah, before that, on the path to president, I was social chair. So yeah, I guess maybe a little bit similar, but I would say, yeah, it's not really necessarily my specialty. So maybe Alex or Psych Out is a little bit more.
Yeah.
Could be more like, operationally planning that kind of stuff.
Well, we'll reach out to him. We've started having some thoughts already about how cool it would be to have an AxieCon. If we can't do
you
it,
guys, you guys should definitely come to NFT NYC. I think there's going to be a lot of Axie. We were the first community to ever have a community at NFT NYC. When I went in 2019, NFT NYC, right? It's like now a huge thing. It's going to be huge this year in September. When I went in 2019, to the first one, we had, I think, 8 or 10 Axie players there. We actually had an Axie meetup. None of these other projects had anyone there. It was just like, people speaking. So yeah, my NFT NYC experience that year was just going, like not listening to any of the talks and just hanging out with our community. That for me was really special, and I think it showed to me and I think everyone else there that the Axie community was something special. even as early as 2019, because we were the only ones showing up. Anyways, so I think like, yeah, we could make NFT NYC like our own
Sweet.
personal event if we want.
Awesome.
Axie takeover.
I like it.
I like it. Brit's saying that Jiho, are you going to be there? Is that confirmed?
I think I'm going to be there. Yeah.
All right. It looks like today's the last day to get the
They
early
let
bird
me
pass,
back in the
so.
U.S. as long as I'm not banned.
Fair
Let me
enough.
back in the
Fair
country.
enough.
Only if Twitter has something to say about that, right? That was crazy. What a crazy time. I don't think that we've had a chance to talk since that whole Twitter ban thing happened. That was wild. Anyway, let's get to the heart. People are dying, I'm sure. All right. Okay, so here's a couple of announcements. They have something to do with, so the slide I have up has a big R, a logo with an R right in the middle of the slide. There's been a couple of announcements that G-Host, that you've put out, specifically about kind of morphing and then also about claiming. Can you explain yourself?
Yeah, so basically, that's how it works. You don't need, some of these things that are not time sensitive, right? That are not time sensitive, you don't have to use gas on them, because soon they're going to be on Ronin, right? So especially things that are super time sensitive or not super time sensitive, just leave it for later. Yeah.
Right. So do you have anything else you can tell us about like timing? I know everybody's dying for timing. It might not be the right place. If you can't, that's totally fine. But we're anxious. The whole
You're not even
community.
gonna wine and dine me before you start asking the hard questions.
Well, I would be happy to wine. Do you want to talk about some other news first? We can come back to
I
the
was just
slide
kidding.
later.
I think a lot of people are here. We got around 150.
Yeah.
So thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, thank you.
So basically, yeah, the big question on everyone's mind is, basically, when is the phase 2 rollout happening for Ronin? And yeah, I think what I'll say is that, okay, like you can look at the roadmap, the official roadmap, which I'm always like actually against putting dates on that.
Why?
But I think I like to think in terms of pipeline more so than, okay, like, dates. But it's also good for us to put public dates out there, right? Because that pushes everyone in the company and gives us some accountability, I guess. So yeah, our plan is not to be delayed. Right. So
wow.
Yeah, I think that our plan is not to be delayed for the Ronin migration. So I think that gives you guys an indication of, with a window within a couple of weeks of when we're planning on doing it.
Well, I'm looking, and I don't want to put you on the spot here. Of course, we don't want to ruin our relationship or anything here. But I'm looking at the roadmap right now, and it says Axie's migrated to Ronin Q1 2021. It seems to me like we're a little bit past Q1, which if we're trying to stick to the roadmap as much as possible, that means we're coming up soon.
I would say that I was thinking in terms of quarters as being I was thinking in terms of there being 16 months in a year.
I like it.
Okay.
If the roadmap and the dates don't work, you just add months to a year. That's a great way to go.
So if we had 4 more months, April's the end of the quarter.
Yeah, you guys have never heard of Trunguary?
Trunguary. Oh my god. Wow, that is so incredible. Well, I did talk with Trung, and when I talked with him, this was, I think, back in kind of November, December timeframe. He did kind of indicate to me that he felt like there was kind of a 30-day-ish delay in kind of where the roadmap started. Is that right, or can you say anything about that? Is that maybe we're just kind of like 30 days-ish behind?
Yeah, I would say like being only 30 days behind, like that'd be a miracle.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I mean, I think that's true.
Oh, okay.
I think it is. I think yeah. It seems like okay, maybe 30 days. I do know that yeah, we're hitting our internal deadlines, right? So it's like okay, maybe we could update those roadmaps to reflect those as well. Yeah, let's see what happens.
Guys,
What I
That's
would
so
say
cool.
is that
I
when the
swear that's what's gonna happen though, is that you're gonna head off our Axie Chat tonight and you're gonna announce that Ronan's happening.
yeah, I mean, I think like when the migration comes, it's going to be a big coordination task for the
Right.
entire community. So we're going to need all the community leaders to step up and and help people. Like they're going to be probably like millions of questions. I'm trying to preempt those questions with the resources.
No, yeah, guys, I just want to say two things. One, it sounds like we're running on Lunacia time, right? We got 7 moons. The world might move a little bit slower, spin a little. The rotation's a little bit off. So we got 16 months in the year. Number number two, again, I'm looking at dates, and I don't want to bust up anybody's spot here, but it takes about 5 days to breed an Axie from baby on to adult. We're looking at these announcements came out on the 13th. That's 7 days warning here to maybe not be not be bumping up your Axies. So I don't know. Maybe we're still a couple weeks off. Maybe not.
Yeah. Well, and I don't want to interrupt Jiho. If you're gonna.
I'm just trying to get a reaction out of him. See if he cracks a little smile or something.
You're in a safe place, Jiho. You don't ever have to say anything. I just want to make that clear. We want you to return.
all I know is I don't want to play poker with Jiho after this.
Yeah, for sure.
Jiho's proven his poker face.
I love poker.
There's a smile.
Anyways, yeah, I mean, it's coming soon. Like, I don't know.
That's
I don't know
awesome.
what else to say.
Well, hey,
it's coming soon.
if
Prepare, just start getting prepared, mentally prepare yourself. You guys as leaders of the community, also, other leaders of the community within this chat, right? I know this is a lot of the people who really care about Axie, are viewers of the show. So yeah, migration, it's not going to be like, sun cakes and
Sun cakes,
rainbows and unicorns, right? It's there are gonna be some complexities to it, right? Life isn't perfect. This technology isn't perfect. We're just here to help make it better, and yeah. So get ready mentally, spiritually, physically. It's gonna be a fun journey, and yeah, we're gonna need everyone to kind of be fully focused.
Yeah.
Like scholarship managers, like I'm sure this is why AK sold his fucking business, right? Like that shit is gonna be complex.
Yeah, and I don't think we're ready to start getting into details. I see a few people asking specifics in the chat, but these things are on Ethereum chain, so it's probably going to cost something to move things over. I don't know for sure. Maybe that's even been discussed. Maybe it's not. I know they talked about pausing the contracts, and so maybe that's part of the migration system, is that it actually just pauses and there isn't like a fee to transfer. And I don't know. Can you be specific about some of those things, maybe?
Yeah, I think like Trung has kind of. I'll basically reiterate what I know that Trung has said in certain discussions with the community. So basically, yeah, we're going to be halting or pausing a lot of the Ethereum contracts, like namely the marketplace contract, the breeding contract, the morphing contract, and the current Axie contract, right? So this is basically going to allow us to kind of hard fork Axies onto Ronin. And And so this means that it's going to be like, the same thing that when we migrated from Loom to Ronin, right, with the land items, except there's one more step, which is just you have to confirm on MetaMask for the migration. Why? It's like, so scholars can't just like steal their managers' Axies, right? So it's basically, like in a perfect world, like, yeah, it's kind of it. It's like, make sure you got Ronin wallet, press a button, sign a transaction, and boom, your Axies are over. There are some edge cases, right? Like Axies that are in contracts. What's that going to look like, yeah. Right? So yeah, there's basically a solution, or it's kind of like, you can withdraw from the contract and then it gets put in your account. If your account hasn't been migrated, then it just becomes one of your non-migrated Axies. If your account has been migrated, that Axie, right, like for example, the wrapped origin Axie will just, when you withdraw it to your account, will be automatically minted or deposited, right? But it's kind of like minted on Ronin.
Right. And a couple of other technical questions that I don't know if you can get into or not, or if it makes sense to, is, having multiple Ronin addresses in the same wallet. People are also wondering about mobile wallets for Ronin. Do we have any sort of timeframes for those, or is that more down the pipeline?
Sorry, what was the question? The Ronin mobile wallet?
Yeah, and also the multiple address capabilities.
Yeah, multiple address hardware support that's coming. I would say like with the migration or very closely together. It would definitely be before. So if it's not together, it would be before. So just put that out there.
Sweet. Now we've also seen a few leaks regarding fiat onboarding in association with Ronin. I think it was the last development update that it was mentioned again that you've secured some partners in that space. Is that something that we can, and maybe you can't tell us now, but is that something that we can expect when Ronin comes out, or is that something that might be a little bit later?
Yeah, so let me talk about why fiat onboarding is especially important with Ronin, right? Because we don't want a first-time user experience to be, okay, like we're gonna go to an exchange, right? Let's say Coinbase if you're American, Binance if you're not American, or local cryptos if you live in some country it's difficult to use those exchanges. So yeah, basically, okay, like you have to acquire crypto, and then boom, you have to send your crypto to MetaMask, right? And then you have to use your MetaMask to deposit that ETH, right, to Ronin, right? It's like we don't want that to be the first time user experience. Like we would just want them to, okay, boom, like, okay, download Ronin wallet. Okay, I want to play this game called Axie Infinity. Okay, they're telling me to download Ronin wallet. Okay, I need cryptocurrency. I can get that, either from the Axie website or the Ronin wallet, right? It's like we're the only crypto application that believes in making sure that every single part of the user experience is kind of crafted in a way that we can control. So some people might think like, oh, like that's not good, right? Like you guys want more control, but we just believe that our users deserve the best experience, and only we know how to craft that for them. So we prefer to basically have like, it's kind of like, right, like vertical integration of all steps of the user experience. And this kind of is actually antithetical to a lot of the things that a lot of crypto projects talk about, which is like interoperability, right? Like all using each other's infrastructure and stuff like that. We're kind of we don't believe in that. Like we believe in certain aspects of decentralization, and others we think are less important, right? Like for example, I believe at least that, right, like having the access token is like the most important aspect of what makes Axie decentralized, rather than even using a blockchain, if that makes sense. So it's like, I even believe in tokens, right? And like basically decentralizing the ownership of a project more so even than decentralizing data storage. This might even differ, like, within the team though. I know like maybe certain team members, like, right, like we all have our own ideals and values around decentralization. Anyways, I hope that was helpful.
Yeah, no, very.
I think that makes sense. We've talked a lot about, you know, the crypto space right now can be confusing, especially for people who haven't used it before. You know, I know me and baronar both came in after years of being crypto investors, Ethereum especially, and didn't have much trouble onboarding. But we see people in Discord every day who's coming in saying, hey, you know, this looks interesting, but I have no idea how to get started, or I don't have ETH, or, you know, just what is the situation here? And you know, I've recently tried to onboard myself to a few side chains, or you know, Wax, or and different things like that. And it's not necessarily easy. And the goal here is, you know, I think this is important to say, because you know, the conversation comes up quite often about, hey, this isn't completely decentralized. Maybe it doesn't fit the crypto narrative, right? But it's so important, I think, that we do make it easy to onboard people, and you know, look at how many people have come in here and been able to take part in DeFi, and who have gotten the, you know, airdrops from Uniswap and other exchanges and stuff like that, who had to learn crypto, or did learn crypto through their experience with Axie, and it's kind of broadened their horizons through that. You know, making it easier to onboard all those people is just going to help get more people into crypto in general. But I think also, you know, it's obviously going to widen the base.
Yeah, so two things. First, I just want to quickly say in the chat, Geos has answered some questions that I think are kind of important. So marketplace, Axies that are in the marketplace, they can still be migrated. The auctions will just be canceled when that happens. So that's something that you can, you know, that's pretty much how it worked with the land migration, right, Geos?
Yeah, it's pretty similar to the land migration, except that you're signing a MetaMask. You're signing a transaction. In terms of so I think I forgot to mention the mobile wallet. So basically,
Yeah.
we I think we do plan on making a Ronin mobile wallet that specifically, right, like SkyMave is branded or whatever. I think in our interim solution will be there's basically a new thing from MetaMask where you can do a custom integration where if someone goes to the Axie website, they'll be prompted to just connect. So yeah, it's basically like MetaMask. We just have to do some small integration, and then basically, yeah, Ronin will work with MetaMask, especially on mobile. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And so the
Yeah,
second thing, yeah, perfect. The second thing that I wanted to point out is, again, the community is so great at this. Like, we're gonna have people coming into our Discord that don't know what's going on, and so it's just absolutely crucial when people are migrating too, that those that are in the know can be supportive and helpful and kind, and welcoming to people who are joining the community, to people who have questions, and we do that so well. So it's just kind of like a gentle reminder to the community. Let's continue to be that type of community. Let's continue to be that type of nation, that type of folk that's really, you know, supportive and goes out of their way to welcome people who are coming into this space. It'll benefit everybody. It'll just make it better and better and better. All right. Golly, thanks everybody for hanging out on the stream today. Wow. All right. I loved this slide that I have up. This was in Axie memes. I just thought that was great. The button push, woohoo time, or wait for Ronin. And I loved your response too. It was so great.
So Geo.
Yeah. Yep. Hey, I don't want to move on too quickly from Ronin, and you're more than welcome to say more about it if there's more that can be said right now. But we do have a lot of other things that happen in the space, and some of it may relate. Like, for example, we hear season 17 is coming. So do we plan on having a battles, original battles version with the Ronin migration before we see battles version 2?
V2. Yeah, V2, we're getting ready for private alpha for our top players. Also, like players that we think are gonna just play a lot, because you need basically a fast queue, right? When you're testing. So yeah, that's basically it. We're getting ready for that. We're looking good internally. I'm liking all the documents that I've seen. Starter Axies. Starter Axie is a lot of work. That's actually a lot of work. So it's kind of like the starter Axies are going to be kind of like new mascots. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of like, right, like, yeah, with Pokemon, like everyone remembers their, starter Pokemon, right? It's gonna, I think it's gonna have some kind of similar vibe.
So, I mean, that kind of sounds like you anticipate the Soulbound or Starter Axes being kind of just right at the same time being part of version 2 battles.
Yeah. So V2, it's not just the reformation, the great reformation of the battle system, the battle mechanics. It's also a huge upgrade in terms of everything, like social login, starter Axies, right? So basically making it easy to play, get started. Like, why have we not focused on this? Because, like, yeah, we also wanted to make sure that the gameplay was fun enough. Yeah, personally, like, I tell my family members not to play Axie. And my friends, like, I don't think that, it's not ready for anyone in my real life to actually judge it yet. So I think, like, one of our internal markers is, when our products are ready is, like, yeah, when, I tell people, like, oh yeah, you can maybe buy some Axis if you want, to be fair. But I don't tell them to try and play. So we're trying to get to that place where we're proud to tell our friends and family, like, yeah, you can try our product.
Yeah. No, I think that's awesome. There was a question in chat. You go ahead, Enjoi. I've been.
I was probably going to relay the same one, and I think I know the answer to it, but we do have a lot of new people here tonight, so I'll repeat it just for everyone else's benefit. The question is whether those starter Axies, and again, I think we're using the term starter Axies and the old Soulbound Axies interchangeably, right?
Yeah. So I
So
think, like, yeah, it's Soulbound. Soulbound was just the term that I would use,
the
so that people
concept.
wouldn't understand that they're not like, they're not like gonna they're not gonna be printing Axies to give to new players, right? Or printing blockchain Axies.
Right, and that's exactly what I'm getting into. Is the question is whether or not those starter Axies are going to be NFTs as well, or if they're just going to be stored on some database and usable by new players.
Yeah. Stored on a database, I would say. They're not
Cool.
going to be NFTs.
Right, they won't be NFTs. Cool.
Not tradable, not sellable.
Right. So, this season 16 came to an end. Just about 50,000 USD in Axis was distributed to the leaderboard winners. One thing that, I mean, and congrats, Indus, congrats everybody who made it into the top 200 and were able to claim a reward. That's just so incredible. Way to go. So cool. I gave it a bit of a run, but we had an Axie Chat announcement right at the end, and I got stalled in the 300s, so I didn't quite make it onto the top 200 leaderboard, but I sure gave it a good effort. And
Not bad for Grandpa.
Thanks, man. And Indus, I just a quick shout out to Indus. He is awesome and helpful. If you're ever interested in getting some pointers and tips, his coaching services I can recommend. Sorry for the shameless plug, but I thought he helped me out a lot. So good job. And the thing that I was interested in is if we have this Ronin, so it was kind of the second tweet you put out there, or announcement you put out there, and that was, if you have SLP or you have anything that needs to be synced up, maybe wait so that you're not having to do fees, because it's all going to go into the Ronin chain, presumably, right? That's the assumption there. I guess I'm wondering, do we see a return potentially of some of the dust type rewards, since we're going to be looking at more of a Ronin, the Ronin situation, more of a gas-free environment? Is that something that we might see again?
This is a good idea. We haven't thought that far ahead, but it's true that, yeah, being on Ronin does allow that those, I mean, yeah, that system maybe. I'm not sure, yeah, how good it was. Yeah, well, we can think about that. Bringing
Excellent.
back the random drops. I personally thought that was cool.
Oh, I thought it was awesome.
But yeah,
Yeah, and in a gas-free
it's like a
environment, it makes a lot
little
more
chance.
sense, right? Yeah, it kind of is. It's kind of breadcrumbs to get something right, so that maybe you play enough, get enough breadcrumbs that you get a slice of bread. Actually, make it all the way to having an Axis token or something like that. Yeah, cool. All
I
right.
haven't actually. I think there's a way to use that, right? To like incentivize people at the top of the ladder to play more, right? It's like I'm just thinking, right? It's imagine, okay, you have the random drop, right? And then it's like if you're in the top 10%, it's like you have a 5x chance of the drop, right?
Yeah,
Top 20% is like a 4x, right? Top
absolutely.
30%, et cetera, right? So then it's like, um, so then it's kind of like, yeah, at the top, you're also having a higher chance to get the random access reward. So then it's like higher chance to risk your MMR or higher reward to risk your MMR. I don't know.
Yeah,
Talk to Inda, see if that's a good idea.
yeah. What do you think, Indez? Love to hear from you. But I think that even for the top players, and I know that there's a risk in the MMR and the leaderboard and everything like that, but just for the general population of players, that could be a huge incentive to have them, playing more and involved in the game more. So yeah, so cool, so cool.
Need to
All
think
right.
about it and discuss. But something like that, yeah, I think definitely, right? Like Ronin gives us so much flexibility in terms of the design space. There's so much cool stuff that we want to do, but we can't, right? Because it's like, okay, like that's going to create a new transaction, right? It's like, that's that kind of thinking, like being constrained like that. That's like it's so bad. That's not decentralized, right? That's just like hamstringing yourself. It's like hurting decentralization. In that, because to me, the true decentralization is having 50,000 people who care about the game rather than 10 people who care about the game. Does that make sense? Like
Oh,
to me,
100%.
like that's and who see themselves as owners of the game. To me, that's like the true decentralization that we want to maximize.
Yeah, and especially as the farther down the line we get when we start talking about DAO systems and actual player ownership, the more people we have and the wider range of interests and experience, the better that's going to be for the whole game, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so the next slide I have up here. I mean, when we do get Axies on Ronin, this slide kind of served two purposes. One, I really wanted to shout out Landfill because I like this mobile background with all the Axies on it. But it looks to me like we're gonna have a breeding fest, and so there were a couple things I wanted to ask you about that. Personally, I'm excited. I'm in the Coco camp where we've both talked about how we need a minimum a million Axies soon, and 10 million Axies is not going to be anywhere near enough. So I'm very excited to see the pool of Axies grow significantly. I wanted to point out also, though, let's see, is it on this one? Oh wait, no, I gotta go back. That it's actually in two. I did this out of order. Gosh dang it, in two slides. But this will have an impact on the treasury, right, Jiho? I mean, you specifically pointed me a while ago to the community treasury. People have been sleeping on the implications of what is going to happen here with respect to the community treasury. Oh, you're muted. You're muted.
So the cool thing is that basically, yeah, it's kind of like we can just say like we're gonna do what's best for the treasury, right? And we're gonna do what's best for the access holders. Like most businesses, they can't really be so transparent with their profit motive. Why? Because yeah, like you guys are all part of that. So we're gonna do what's best for the treasury, which means we're gonna do what's best to grow the community. Uh, get more people involved in the ecosystem, get more people paying and playing for pleasure too, right? Not just to make money. Um, Why is it so loud in here? I'm gonna switch my. I'm gonna go inside. This is supposed to be like a library, but
All right, so while Gio's moving, I just want to point out that again, that breeding fee in the community treasury article, and I'm gonna actually skip ahead 2 slides and try not to see, I guess, the slide that's in between, um, the slides that are in between.
Oh, oh,
Yeah, yeah,
oh.
yeah. Shush, shush, shush. We'll get back to those. Shush, 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 shush. So the treasury here, and I thought R put it out really well with his little lines that point in the right direction with respect to what's going to happen with the treasury. So now, once we get the treasury, and we don't know when that is for sure. If Jiho has any information, I'd love to have him share it. But this is exactly right. R's lines here, they may even be too conservative. When we have things on Ronin, people are going to be free to do transactions. They're going to be free to breed so much more. We're going to see that 0.005 breeding fee just escalate and escalate. We're going to see that 0.0425 marketplace fee escalate and escalate. And that's going to go to the treasury. For now, I'm more than happy that we see that stuff going to the team because they deserve it. They've done such a great job. But when it happens and it goes to the treasury, that's going to be profound. It's going to be profoundly amazing for people who hold access. Right? Is that correct, Jiho?
yeah. So yeah, Ronin is gonna help, increase the pace of value accrual to the treasury for sure. Yeah, as you mentioned, right? I think in order for us to have like, right, we need so this is kind of one way to look at it, right? It's like last year we grew 700%. So if we want to grow 700% this year, right? It's like how many players are we looking to get? It's like 250,000, 250 to 300,000 players, right?
Yeah.
So it's like in order to have the 300,000 players, how many Axies do we need, right? We need 1 million, right? It's like to have 300,000 like real players, right? We need about and then it's not as good if everyone can just have 3 Axies, right? So it's like so yeah, we need a lot of breeding to be done. So it's like, to me, like me personally, like, everyone in the team, we're our own individuals. We have our own priorities, right? And then we get consensus somehow.
Yeah.
To me, like the way that I think of it is, okay, okay, so let's say we want 900 to 1 million Axies by this time next year, right? To be able to basically, hit that growth projection. So then it's like, okay. So then, right, so it's like we have 200, how many Axies right now? 250K. So it's like we need 750K. There's 365 days in a year. It's like, okay, like, so to me, like if they're around like 2,000 Axies being bred per day, that's on track. If it's significantly more than that, that's running hot, and we might need to think about increasing the breeding fee. Right. So boom, that's kind of like my window into how I think about it. It's like, okay, I'm the growth lead. Like, how many fucking players do we want next year? How many Axies do we not need? Okay, how can we control the breeding fee to hit that? That's the only way to do it. And in the future, we can do it programmatically, right? It's like, okay, like we set an inflation goal, right? And then it's like, okay, it looks at how many Axies were bred in the last 24 hours, and it's kind of like the gas system, right? It increases the SLP or the breeding fee based on that, right? So,
well, and honestly, I think there's going to be a lot of self-imposed controls based on the cost of SLP, because as it's being used, I guarantee it is not going to remain cheap and easy to get. So there may be economic controls that happen anyway with respect to SLP when the breeding happens. But absolutely, I totally trust the team to pay attention to that and figure out what makes the most sense as far as controls, making sure that we don't end up in a negative situation. So I'm very, very glad to hear that. I'm sure others are too. I think that it'll be interesting to see how it naturally flows when it first comes out. And I actually think that my next slide, without going back, Well, no,
Wh-
no, no.
while you're fumbling with these slides, I just want to highlight one thing that he said,
Okay, yeah.
which was, I mean, remember that the fees once we're on Ronin or whatever point in time start going to the community treasury. That's directly funding the Axis value if you think about it.
Correct.
He said that changing those breeding fees, adjusting those breeding fees, could be one way that they mess with the amount of breeding that's happening, or adjust it rather. Um, you know, my thoughts too is if you look at what the current breeding fee is, I mean, you're looking between 137 and we're talking gas right now, $137 to $155 for breeding based off of gas. It seems to me that there's potential to raise those fees anyways. I mean, this is potentially what's best for access holders. It's potentially what's best for the treasury. Raise those fees anyways because people are already used to spending quite a bit of money on those enormous gas fees. And I'm not saying go crazy with it, but right now breeding fees are 0.005 ETH. Is that right, Gio?
Yeah. So I think the way that I see it is, yeah, like we're gonna probably not gonna change anything to start, right? Because we need to see what the baseline data is, right? Because we don't actually know how much
Sure.
demand to breed Axies there is. It's also kind of like it's gonna be fun. It's like it's the fuck.
Is it Trung?
Nah.
Okay.
It's gonna be fun to see. It's gonna be like fun to basically allow people to breed a lot, and get the Axies that they've been wanting. There might be meta shifts as well to inspire some breeding. So yeah, so I think like basically we need to get some baseline data and then see right based on right like our internal goal. Like me personally, right, I that's literally how I think about it. It's like I'm looking at, okay, like can we average around 2,000 new Axies per day for the rest of the year, as long as we're seem to be growing on the growth trajectory that I want.
Sure.
So yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, and again, I think if we're talking about what's best for the community, what's best for access holders, there's a balance between are we breeding enough and are we taking enough fees? Just like anything. And I would never suggest do anything without doing the testing. I think that's the definitely the right approach. Just saying that there may be some room there. If you're looking at the fees coming in currently, there may be some room based off of people's past experiences with gas when moving to Ronin. Again, Jiho partially just contradicted me, so don't rely too heavily on this, but it is a thought that I've been having a lot.
I personally estimate that we should just double the amount of SLP required per breed. Yeah, I think something like that would get us to a good point, but I also want to see the data where on Ronin.
Right. Agreed.
Okay. So Elon maybe stopped by. We'll just skip these slides now. That was a joke. Yeah. So maybe Elon bored Elon Musk showed up. And Twitter and on chat seems to be aware of Axie Infinity, has tons of Twitter followers regardless of whether it really is Elon or not. This was fun. This was fun and exciting. Again, kind of regardless of the legitimacy of it. And again, this for me was just a great example. And I'm just going to put a little picture up here of our Tiger King. AK immediately, without hesitation, works it out, sends him a very, very good team so that he can experience the battles. That is this community, and it's so exciting to see stuff like this happening. Again, whether it truly is Elon or not, some people think it's confirmed that it is. And it doesn't really matter. I was just saying in chat, if it is, that's awesome. That could be something really cool, right? I mean, that could be having somebody like that endorse Axie Infinity. All of a sudden, this thing is literally like one of his rocket ships. I don't know. What did you guys think? I have to have your guys' thoughts too. I'll just keep rambling.
Yeah, what? So the facts are that, right. This is a pretty powerful and cool account, regardless. We do know that that account, does have some interest in NFTs. Like, it has an OpenSea account or whatever. So yeah, I'm not sure, but I mean, he has, like, almost, he's 1.8 million followers, right? To put that into context, like, Coinbase has 2 million, right? Gary V, who everyone, like, thinks is so important, like, he has 2 million as well. So, Board Elon, like, that's an influencer. It's won some awards. It's won some awards as being a great Twitter account. So either way, like, this person is. It could be even better if it's just some random person who's
Right.
kind of famous and operating a Twitter account with 1.8 million followers. And maybe if it's not Elon, he has more time to actually, right,
Right.
become, like, huge evangelist for the community. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, he's getting started. Yeah, thanks to AK for operating and executing really quickly on sending those over. And he's getting started, and he's gonna ask questions, and let's hope that he likes the game. And yeah, so I think it was cool, cool experience for everybody.
So continuing on my thought about whether or not it really is Elon or what impact that has, I mean, it's exciting no matter what. Axie Infinity has the pedigree, it has the history, it has every almost dynamic, every quantitative analysis that you could do. Axie is in favor of Axie Infinity. Look at this incredible team. I have the team from Sky Mavis, some of the main principals up. Trung, Alex, Jeff with us here today. Masmune, all these different guys that really make Axie Infinity and have for years. This is the real thing. So I guess I kind of wanted to put out here as we're getting closer to wrapping this thing up that this Axie Infinity is going somewhere. It doesn't matter whether we hit a Cuban or an Elon or whatever, or a Paris Hilton or whatever it is. It's so cool to see some of those folks aware of Axie Infinity. It's going somewhere, and it's this team. It's also this next slide that's coming up, and it's more than this too. But this next slide is mind blowing, because it's just a smattering of the community members, the Axie owners, the digital asset owners that care so much about Axie Infinity that they put together shows and streams and great articles that they put together. And I just wanted to put a few of these up here. Guilds are happening, YGG, Axie GG, CTG. We have the Lunasia events board. All of these things just tell me when you have a rabid community that just loves its products, loves its team, loves what's happening, that is all just a recipe for incredible, incredible success. We've talked about the fully divested values of where we're at based on what Axis is now, and it's fair in my mind. I think it's the right sorts of numbers. So it'll be so it'll be so exciting to see how Axie moves on into the future, and Gihos and Enjoi too. Thanks for being part of this journey that's just very at its very beginning still, right? Right. Nobody can even
Yeah,
say
that's,
it.
that's cool. That's a cool graph. That's a cool graphic. I really like that. Yeah, I mean, to me, like, it's, yeah. To me, like, my goal is to kind of inspire and uh, make sure that, yeah, the community is becoming more independent, more anti-fragile, less reliant on Sky Mavis. Obviously, Sky Mavis, we still have, to do a lot of work. Yeah. We're thinking about using the ecosystem fund to potentially create a team that works on Axie Infinity that's not actually part of Sky Mavis. That's kind of like a separate entity. So right, it's like so we're thinking about a lot of stuff like grants. I mean, the ecosystem fund is worth like hundreds of millions of dollars now, right? So it's like,
Yeah,
we can
it's
we can have a lot of
incredible.
we can have a lot of fun with this thing. But yeah, I think like the key, right, is everyone needs to be doing it for a combination of, okay, you want to change the world, you want to do something new, you want to do something different, right? These are the most important things. Like the monetary reward, like that's just, that's just something that is, gravy on top. I think like the best movements all have characteristics of this. And Axie was born in the bear market where, yeah, crypto wasn't necessarily about money. It was like about people who kind of really have faith and are at least like thinking more long term, right? Everyone has incentives and motives, but missionaries, like what actually distinguishes them, in my mind, is they're able to play the long game, right? They're not. They understand that they have to put in the work to earn their reward. And I think, yeah, the Axie community is fairly good at this, fairly special at this.
Totally agree. And then we move right along to the artists. So, some of those other content providers, but this was an artist that I had somehow not been aware of, Yamori, just doing incredible stuff. That background that he put together, that's
Yeah,
like
I
kind
love
of a
that.
old like
Whoa,
Greek
that
or
background is lit.
it's
That looks like
Right?
some
It's
lore.
so good.
That looks like some lore.
it's incredible. And so and you notice I noticed, Jiho, that you picked up one of these conquerors. I'm paying attention. And I picked up one too because I just think it's so incredible. So at least I think I did. I meant to. I'm gonna have to check to make sure I clicked confirm. But you see in the background of that Conqueror one, he actually has this kind of like Greek or Roman esque background in the back of that NFT as well. So check out your NFT when you get a chance. So cool, Yamori. Also wanted to shout out, you know, Bryson is doing great stuff on the streams. I had him up on that other collage of great names, but I love the art, and so the art was by Straw Hat Lando, that did his kind of like logo or background art. I loved that art. It was so incredible. I think it captured Bryson really well. I think we have Folk X here with us in chat too. Great stuff for Wiz. Love to see that. Kunta MC is doing amazing stuff. And that plush, I think you're the one that sent me that plush, Enjoi. I didn't see exactly where that came from, but Esther.
Oh, that's O'Shiny. That's O'Shiny's quad mystic. Yeah,
Galadriel.
that's it. Yep.
Okay, cool,
Yeah,
cool.
he got a custom plush made. Awesome.
And the last one I mentioned, you kind of know that artist, right, Jiho?
Yeah. My wife has, she actually went to art school.
It's incredible.
She actually, she's a really good artist. She's a really talented woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she wants to make some Axie art. So yeah, I told her, this is my favorite Axie. If you want to do something with that, this is one of my favorite Axies. And then yeah, she's working on another piece right now as well, which is kind of like a little bit more.
I'm excited
about our movement, about a significant moment in Axie history. So,
well, that's awesome and great job. I thought that was so good. Want to shout out? I think actually Enjoi mentioned this quickly. The Lunasia events board. We're doing the sponsorship for the #1 place. We're gonna give 10 Axis as a tip in Discord chat, and the second place gets 5 Axis as a tip in Discord chat. So. I think there's 7 entries right now. We probably should have pushed this a little stronger earlier to get more entries, but I'm hoping that they'll do another event like this so that we can get more entries and hopefully we can get more sponsors on board too, that we can make this a bigger deal. This stuff is so important to the community. So, go out, support Lady Ranvor and the Lunasia events board, and be sure to vote so that we can recognize the people who've done great Axie Infinity content. Okay, I have to shout this one out. I'm a little bit, I fear for people who've actually listened to this. So on this one, I put warning. Like, seriously, be careful listening to this one. But Y2 put together this Axie Chat Road.
Oh,
thing.
Poor Y2.
Yeah,
Y2, man, keep doing you, man.
It's awesome.
I mean, I don't know if I'd go that far, but
it's awesome in one way or another.
we love everybody who's spending their time doing this stuff. Honestly, this made my day. Yeah, be warned.
Be warned. Yeah. Like, seriously, be warned.
Oh my God.
And then kind of finishing this off on this side of the stream before we go to the exclusive side. You have an assignment, everybody. If you haven't read YCB's article here, you really need to. It's really, really incredible. Like, there's a few minor things I might have said differently, but he has a really good way of putting all of this. I loved how he talked about kind of Jiho, what you were talking about that picture that we saw earlier on, and that is the way Axie Infinity can bring people together like a family, real life families, but also, you know, it's so cool that I feel like I have so many friends and almost family members in this Axie family. And that's kind of wild because it's all been remote. It's all been online. It's all been through Discord chats and things like that for the most part. But it's real and it's exciting. Yeah, I'll shut up for a second. I'm sure you have something you'd like to say about this one, Jiho. No pressure.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of my all-time favorite works of the Axie community. I thought it helped me understand certain things even. I mean, there's a lot of content, right, that I want to put out into the world. But personally, like, it's more powerful, right, when it's coming from someone from within the community as well. So generally, that's been kind of my approach. And yeah, I think this is, proof that, I think that works, right? It's like, and so, I thought this was awesome. I want more of this kind of stuff over time, and I think it's gonna happen. I think YCB is also a great example of someone who's kind of grown up with the Axie community. I mean, he's a young kid. He's just, he's recently gotten out of college. It's kind of starting his life. And, he's him and, there are a couple kids like that, like Arctic, I think dropped out of college and now he's just like, he made it.
Yeah.
So, there's some, some people who have, over the last 3 years, it's been like 20% of their life or something, right? It's like you're in your early 20s. It's like, Axie has been kind of a formative community and experience for you. And it's also, in many ways kind of given you a career or economic freedom in different ways. So I'm really bullish on that generation, like Gen Z,
Yeah.
who've been in Axie for more than 2 years. Like there's only like 5 of them and they're all doing super well in life, I would say. But I think, yeah, they're going to be like really important people for the community. Yeah, I mean, I think like Indas might be in even a different generation, right? But each one of these, kids, right, that's kind of, made a name for themselves in the Axie community, they're under 23, 24.
Yeah.
Like these are all like very interesting, kids who are kind of, maybe, yeah, ahead of the curve and they're right, like like maybe the most futuristic people in a very tech savvy generation. So
Yeah. No, for sure. So awesome.
Child.
Awesome. Hey, this is what's happening. We've got a digital nation that will rise. There's so many things behind it. There's so many positives, so many technicals, I guess, if you're if you're that type of investor, if you look at it that way. This is happening, and it's so very exciting. Ronan is a great key for a lot of these things to move everything forward. We've talked about that for months, for quite some time. Ronan really is the key that's gonna unlock a huge growth. So very excited to hear how that goes. So excited for fiat and all the other things that will hopefully come soon with Ronan. And so yeah, guys, the blood moon is rising. We haven't even come close. We talk about the 7 moons of Lunacia. I don't think we've even hit the first moon yet. There's many more things to come. So excited about Axis and other things that are happening right now. Excited to get over into the exclusive side and talk more about some specifics as well. So we're still all-time high April, right?
We're certainly all-time high in terms of viewers today. This is
Yeah,
awesome, guys.
it's incredible.
Thanks for spending your time with us, and Jiho, thanks for spending your time with us too. The one thing I'll say is, as we wrap things up, a couple slides back, we had up a list of content creators. If you're not coming over to the Discord right now to join in the premium stream here, guys, go down right below Baronar's name, click Axie Infinity, see who else is streaming right now. I think
100%.
Captain Kerry said he might jump in. I see a couple other guys. Looks like mostly Spanish speaking.
Awesome.
But still, feel free to jump in there, support them too. We're all part of the community, all trying to grow this thing. I will throw out too. Again, we're doing this we're doing this premium content thing. We've got our founders pass up for sale. We've got our quarterly pass up for sale. We're only leaving the quarterly up for a week. So this Saturday is going to be your last time to get that, and then it's going away for the rest of the quarter. Right now, literally everybody has gone with the founders, which is
Thank you.
I don't know. It makes us both emotional how much support we've gotten. But
it's been a ton of hard work, and so to have that hard work recognized is so incredibly meaningful. Thank you so much. Thank you for the subs today too, everybody. So incredible. That helps so much.
Exactly. Again, just want to thank everybody, and if you do want to join us over there, you know the way in. But otherwise, go keep supporting everybody else and doing what you can. Captain Kerry, get your cam to work. I see you typing in there. But yeah, thanks everybody. Appreciate it.
G-Host, why don't you send us out?
Yeah, it's been awesome. Thanks for having me. Always exciting to chat directly with the community. Yeah, I would say you have a lot to be excited about. Ronin is coming very, very, very soon. So yeah, as I said, start to get ready, start to get prepared. For many of you that that might mean different things, but yeah, let's do this. Let's stay fully focused. We have not won yet. Like, I want total victory. Like, I want to dominate. There's still other projects who think that they have a chance. So I believe in monopoly. So that's another thing that might maybe antithetical to this space. So yeah, that's it. Like, we need to dominate.
True capitalist. I like it.
And then that starts from each and every one of you holding yourself accountable, holding the person, right, holding the people that in the community accountable towards, right. We're all aligned incentives. Like, we own Axis, you guys own Axis. Like, that's it. One Axis is one Axis. Doesn't matter whether it's owned by Sky Mavis or a member of the community. So yeah, let's do this.
Hell yeah. All right. Hey, everybody. Have a great night in Lunacia and Axie freaking hard. Axie hard. All right. Hey, we'll meet up with everybody next week. So excited. Have a good one.
Take care.